In this video, we will discuss high blood pressure, which is a common health problem and can have very dangerous consequences if left untreated. Humans are large animals, and that's why we need a cardiovascular system to be able to deliver nutrients to our tissues. The cardiovascular system consists of several major components. One of them is the heart, which is a pump made of muscular tissue that pushes blood into the blood vessels. Blood vessels consist of arteries that branch into arterioles, veins that branch into smaller venules, and capillaries, which are the smallest type of blood vessel. And of course, the final component is the blood that circulates throughout the system, delivering oxygen and nutrients to our tissues. Blood pressure could be defined as the force that our blood exerts on the arteries as it circulates throughout the system. There are several physiological factors that affect and regulate blood pressure. One of them is cardiac output, which is the amount of blood ejected by the heart in a minute. So the higher this amount, the higher our blood pressure will be. There are also factors related to the arteries. One of them is arterial flexibility, which is the ability of our arteries to stretch and recoil, and also arterial diameter. Our arteries have the ability to dilate and to constrict, making the arteries narrower. So if the arteries constrict and make the arteries narrower, there is less space for the blood, and this will increase resistance and increase blood pressure. Another factor is blood volume. So the amount of blood that circulates throughout the cardiovascular system, and the higher the blood volume, the higher the blood pressure. And finally, blood viscosity, which is a measure of blood thickness. If there are a lot of molecules in the blood, such as proteins, lipids, and other components, this will make the blood thicker, more viscous, and this will make it for the blood more difficult to move throughout the circulatory system, resulting in higher blood pressure. Our heart is constantly beating and relaxing, and when the heart beats, the pressure generated on our arteries is called systolic blood pressure, whereas when the heart relaxes, the pressure produced by the blood on the arteries is called diastolic blood pressure. In a healthy person, systolic blood pressure is below 120 milliliters of mercury, and diastolic pressure is lower than 80 milliliters of mercury. Several factors, however, can result in higher blood pressure than normal. One of them is lack of exercise or sedentary lifestyle. When we exercise, this makes our heart stronger, so it requires less effort to push blood into the arteries, and this keeps our blood pressure low. But a lack of exercise, therefore, results in higher blood pressure. Alcohol intake also increases blood pressure because alcohol increases the production of the hormone renin, and renin causes our blood vessels to constrict, which, as we already learned, will result in higher blood pressure. Smoking, like alcohol, also increases blood pressure by constricting the blood vessels. This is called by the substance nicotine, which is present in cigarettes. And finally, unhealthy diet has consistently been linked with high blood pressure, specifically a diet high in sugar and salt. High blood pressure can be treated in a number of ways, and the best way to proceed is, of course, to adopt a healthy lifestyle, which means sleeping well, staying hydrated, eating a healthy diet, and of course, exercising. If this does not help, there are several types of medications that could be prescribed to treat high blood pressure. Hypertension medications could be classified based on the organs they act on. So diuretics act on the kidneys. They increase urination, which results in a lower blood volume, and this in turn lowers blood pressure. Beta blockers, on the other hand, act on the heart. They inhibit beta adrenergic receptors. These receptors interact with the hormone epinephrine, which is also commonly known as adrenaline. So when this interaction is inhibited by the beta blockers, it relaxes the heart, lowers the heart rate, and this results in lower blood pressure. ACE inhibitors and angiotensin II receptor blockers act on the blood vessels. They basically prevent the action of the hormone angiotensin, which is also a vasoconstrictor. It constricts blood vessels. So when the action of this hormone is prevented, this keeps the blood vessels dilated and lowers blood pressure. ACE inhibitors prevent the synthesis of this hormone, whereas angiotensin II receptor blockers do not prevent synthesis, but they prevent the binding of this hormone to its receptors, so they prevent its action. High blood pressure, if left untreated, will eventually damage the arteries, and this will reduce blood flow, resulting in a stroke or a heart attack. So it is very important to stay attentive to changes in our blood pressure, to live a healthy lifestyle, and seek treatment as soon as possible.